Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, good evening, everybody, and really appreciate showing up for the stuff. This is actually preventing me from my sleep, so you understand my sacrifice. Um, so, so basically, we wanted to share with you. My bird starts talking once I start. Um, so basically, we wanted to share with you uh, some of the rationale behind and the story behind why we formed the guild and why is it important for everybody of us. So basically, we are when we started thinking about forming a team, a guild. Um, Basically, the founders, we are in in our uh, prime of our lives with responsibilities from different angles, be it work, family, kids, and all the responsibilities. And we had a so it the game is has a lot of different demographics in terms of people. So you have people who have family responsibilities, kids and stuff like that. We have people who have plenty of time to play WoW. So and but
Hello,
we
everyone.
yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, hello. Yeah. Uh, so when then we realized that we are not the kind of people who can put a lot of time into game to get, for example, we cannot get the best eye level given the time we have. We cannot get the maximum performance given the time we have, because a lot of it depends on being lucky with the gear and practicing on your abilities, rotations, and things like that to max out your performance, or the people who can really have the time to focus and make it up to the realm rankings number one, two, three, or stuff like that. So we made a conscious decision that our focus of building the guild is going to be for those people who can relate to that feeling that we have a limited amount of time and we want to spend that in a very nice way, in a very fun way, to enjoy the game, focusing, doing the raids and the content, which meant that we will not everybody will be in the same level of understanding that everybody is not expected to get the highest of the gear level, everybody is not expected to get the maximum out of performance, or everybody is not expected to have the highest realm ranking. But what is expected is to have priority of having fun. Now, in terms of having fun, we will focus on clearing the raid tier before the next tier comes in. uh, each We will take time with each of the boss. We will have fun raiding together, learning together, wiping together. So even if we wipe, we still try to have fun doing that. So and for example, when we did one of the previous in BFA, I think it was Gahun kill happened for the guild. Some people pugged it before, but for the guild, Gahon kill happened just one day before the next tier of raid came up. So we are not in any kind of rush to get to the next tier or finish the bosses or things like that. And we are in a space where we will take a reasonable amount of time to learn, progress, and things like that. So it means another thing as well. So when we are raiding, we are not the kind of, so let's say what kind of guild we are not. So when we are raiding, for example, if we do a first wipe, we will not look at the logs and start pointing at people that you haven't performed this, you died due to that. We are not that kind of guild, because once you start accusing people of not performing in the first two three vibes, you kind of lose the fun of that encounter. The fun of that encounter is to play with your team, help the team out, and have fun while killing the boss and learning while killing the boss. But once you start to see problems with people in terms of their performance or logs or whatever, then it becomes like the person who's looking at it becomes like a police. Like he's looking at the logs and see if somebody's making a mistake, and then so that's not basically how we want to do it. But as a personal stuff, somebody do a beep if I cross the time. Um, so from a personal point of view, yes, People can feel free to max out eye level gear. People can feel free to max out their performance. People can feel free to get the highest ranking in the realm. But do not make it as a reason to spoil others having fun. And that person who so everybody is, people are not their eye level, people are not their performance, it's not their HPS, it's not their DPS, or it's not their threats, and it's not their realm ranking. So people like us, everybody of us, is that demographics where we see and prioritize real life over the game, and that means accommodating each other. If somebody is able to perform better than most of the people, then it is not a right to criticize others for not performing, but feel good that you are helping others to progress. Feel good that you are carrying some of the few people who do not have that much time, but yet want to have fun and see this content and raid together as a team. So in the end, if you do good better than others, you're building good karma, helping them move forward in terms of raiding. So that's the raid stuff. And the other stuff is about how we work as a management. So we have made it clear in the rules and stuff like that. So we basically have a flat structure in terms of management, and how the ranking system in the World of Warcraft works. There are limitations to having that flat structure, but we made a charter. We have clear rules that has been set so that nobody is above anybody else in terms of management. There is a clear flat structure. So whatever there is, if there is any feedback from any of the members, it is taken as a valuable input. We do not take it personally. We discuss this in a meeting. We have regular meetings, and then we discuss on it. We come up to a common agreement, and that agreement is shared to the relevant people, or policies changes are made to reflect that. uh, and we go on a consensus basis, and if there are difference in opinion, sometimes there is, we take the adult route, try to accommodate each other, and then and take it from there. Nobody is going to say that this is how it has to be and this is how it is. No, that doesn't work in this guild. It's a consensus based guild, it's an adult guild. We consult, we discuss, and we agree on our consensus. That is that. The last point, sorry for this much time. Uh, the last point is about our separation of concerns. So in terms of raiding, we have a raid leader and a raid leading team. A difference from the management of the guild and the raid leading is the raid leader is given the full right to take a final decision on the call. So he does not need to look for consensus. He if he makes a decision, then everybody stands behind the raid leader. It can be right or wrong, it can be left or back or whatever. But once a raid leader takes a decision, we stand behind it. So our raid leader is Ilka. And he is open to take suggestions, firstly from his raid leading team, which we have currently Dell. Uh, and Tom used to be our raid leading team member as well before. So we will see how he can participate in that going forward. But that's, and the roles like trade leading team membership is open. So we keep the doors open for officers. We keep the doors open for different roles in the guild to everybody. There is no prejudice. And one of the key things we try to achieve is participation and representation from people. And ours is a very diverse guild in terms of where we come from, culture, and things like that. So separation of raid, and then we have, so raid is, as I said, fun is the most highest priority, and then we learn together, we have fun wiping. The second activity that we have is Mythic Plus. Now there is a difference between Mythic Plus and Raid. Mythic Plus is we run on a clock, so there is a lot of pressure to perform. For example, when you get to higher keys like 15, the tank, for example, is not only expected to stay alive, but he or she is also expected to have a certain amount of DPS. Then only you can actually finish the key, even if it's time or without the time. So we wanted to separate the concern of raid, which is of a fun, gradual team learning exercise, and we have time for doing that. But in terms of Mythic Plus, we that has to be run in a specific amount of time. There are requirements. But for Mythic Plus, we are trying to accommodate people to have at least one high key run on a week, and we try to help with that. So people who have a reasonable amount of gear who can cover a high key, we try to help them to form groups and then clear that, so that at the end of the week they get a chest to loot from. So the person who is owning that thread and leading that thread is Spidey. So he has been helping out the guild with that, helping people run Mythic Plus quite a lot. Even he has alts that can help with it. So going forward, what will happen is we will have the Mythic Plus runs on Thursday, I think, and then we will try to help people whenever we can in terms of running lower keys. But in terms of higher keys, Spidey will come up with requirements that these are the requirements for finishing the higher keys, and we will try to stick with that. So, in the matters of raid, Ilka has the final call. And if anybody gives you feedback, and if anybody gives you tips, pointers, or suggestions on how to improve raid besides Ilka, don't take it. It has to come from Ilka. For example, somebody comes to you and say that this is how you have to heal, or this is how you have to tank, or this is how you have to DPS. If that person is not Ilka, don't take that suggestion. So if you have any recommendations regarding anything, feel free to contact Ilka. You can talk to him, whisper him, or whatever. He'll give the advice to the right people at the right time in the way he feels fit. And in terms of Mythic Plus, Spidey has complete, let's say, complete hand on how the Mythic Plus is going to be run, which date it is going to be run, what eye level is required, and he will do the maximum for helping people to get the keys done. And he also is. There are some people who are interested in pushing high keys, so he will form groups accordingly. So this is what we wanted to convey. Sorry for taking this much time. I'm still. So, in conclusion, we are a guild that prioritizes real life over the game. We try to have fun. That is our priority. If we do better in logs and other stuff, it's good. You're helping out the team. Really appreciate it. But do not take it as a right to criticize others or see others on a lower footing. There might come cases where we hit a wall and we cannot progress further. Raid leader will take a call on what is the best configuration to go forward in clearing that. And then we have a management setup which is quite open. Nobody is better than the other, nobody is higher than the other. And we decide things over a consensus based approach in terms of conducting weekly meetings that are run regularly. And the final stuff is we are planning to have an event. So I've talked a lot. We are planning to have an event that would to have a participation in terms of social stuff. So we would like to hear from every one of you that how do you feel about the guild? Is there something we can do to improve? Shh. Uh,
Angry bird.
yeah,
Angry
no,
birds.
he's thinking I'm talking a lot. Now it's my time. So yeah, sorry for that. So we're planning to have a social event, which could be we need to plan how the event is going to be like. So if anybody, for example, people were suggesting that we could have a social event, hide and seek, and things like that. But the main is to get together and take feedback and opinions from all of you. We would like to hear from every one of you to how the guild is like, and to have an open discussion and also have some fun while doing it. So we will decide on a date. We will also have, I believe, we'll also have a committee, yeah, but for arranging this event, and people who like to participate in the event and also help coordinate the event. Feel free to contact any of the officers or founders or people who you can reach out to easily, and we will try to form a committee for doing that. So thank you for your time. Really appreciate the patience, and people who have already slept, please wake up.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Thanks, Alan.
Thank you, Alan. No, we don't sleep. It was great, actually. Great speech.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Alan.
thanks, Alan.
Only one
Yeah,
sleeping on
What a
break
giant.
time is you.
No, I cannot take all of the credit, but just 99% because we had decided that it was decided on a meeting that what would be said and what would not be said. So it's coming from all of the management, not just from me.
Yeah, of course, we understand.
Cool.
Go to sleep.
Please
Yeah,
don't
you
go
can
to sleep.
sleep now, Ellen.
I cannot tank this solo.